Hey guys, welcome back to Semojo Homestead. So glad that you guys are with us. Today we're journeying into the woods. So as we pass the pigs, say hello to the pigs.
They're like, where's our treat?
So we're going into the woods to do a little foraging and to have some fun, seeing what we can find.
Yeah. So if you have followed us for a while, you might remember that we went to Asheville. And while we took this family trip to Asheville, we actually went on a foraging tour, right?
Yeah.
We'll call it that, where we had a local guide forage with us and kind of show us what you could find. I just dropped my little basket, but what you might be able to find in the woods. Now, this was Asheville, North Carolina. We aren't there. However, it did happen to be chanterelle time. And my whole goal of this whole foraging adventure with this guy was to learn how to identify at least one or two edible mushrooms. And we were fortunate enough to find some chanterelles when we were with him, and he taught us how to identify them, and just confirmed some of the things I read on the internet about them, and which you never want that to be your go-to source for mushroom identification. But I had kind of been looking into them anyway because we wanted to forage mushrooms. We want to be able to eat wild mushrooms. So when we found them with him, it was super exciting. And then I happened to be walking in our woods one day, and I found some. So we are going to check on them. Our friend Jess collected a huge amount of them a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we know it's the season here. And these were little. I don't know if we are going to let them continue to grow another year or if we're going to harvest any. We just have to see what size they are, basically.
So we did also find some up closer to the house, but those were like right outside the pig pen and a place where we just like walk on the ground a lot. And so didn't really want to harvest those.
Yeah.
That's one thing, like anytime you're foraging, no matter what it is, you definitely are going to be walking through spider webs. But you definitely want to be aware of the area that you're foraging in as far as foot traffic. Hang on, I see another spider web. Foot traffic in that area, definitely want to avoid anything beside the roads. And then the other thing to think about is pets, like how much pet or animal activity is in the area. I think all these are probably pretty obvious reasons why you want to avoid those.
Yeah.
But the little chanterelle patch that we have near the house, that's why we are not harvesting from that one.
Yeah. So this one is definitely in our woods. Man, it's been so long since I've walked back here. Unfortunately, I don't even know.
Here's a mushroom.
Ooh,
not an edible
one.
Not
Not an edible.
But it's pretty, so I'm going to show you. Interrupt. Since we're out here hunting for mushrooms, I mean, let's just take advantage of all the mushrooms. So that one is definitely one you want to avoid. I don't know the type, but you want to avoid it. So I don't think that that is one of the jack-o'-lantern ones, but jack-o'-lantern is the look-alike, like the bad look-alike with chanterelles. But once you know the difference between the two, it is pretty easy to tell them apart. Spiderweb.
Oh, a big one.
All right, I think I broke it. Yep. Okay. But yeah, it is pretty easy to tell them apart, but we're not going to get into all that in this video because you need to go do your own research, and we are not certified to be giving you that information. So
yes. So one thing I will say also is if you do find someone that can really show you good mushrooms you can eat in your area, how to identify them, always make sure you cook your mushrooms before you eat them. When we went foraging, this was a really unique and neat opportunity, but we could take the mushrooms or the items that we foraged really, and a local restaurant would prepare something for us. So the restaurant we went to ended up making us some ravioli, and it was amazing. You always need to cook your mushrooms. That was something else that I learned on that foraging trip.
Yeah, that was one thing that I didn't really realize. Even like the little like button mushrooms that you get on salad bars and stuff like that, that we always eat raw. You're actually supposed to cook those. They're actually not that great for you raw. So,
Fun fact.
fun fact.
So I have to kind of remember the general area. I know it was past this tree. That's this one that's fallen down. But I'm going to have to do a little investigating. It was right off the path. But as I said, and there were actually some on the other side as well. But as I said, they were really small. And it was a year ago. So, oh, I see them. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Wow. They're so much bigger this time. So we left them last year because we wanted this to happen. We wanted them to get bigger. And see, we have them on both sides of the path now. We should have brought a knife to cut them with. So some of them look like they're a little older, the darker ones. So we found a nice patch here. Some of them look like they're kind of a little past their prime, but not bad. Most of them are still really, really good. And they're really nice size. Now, again, I'm not going to want to forage all of these because we want to make sure we can get some again next year. But this is a very nice patch of them.
So one mushroom that is in our area, but I have not found it in our woods, is the chicken of the woods. That is one that I really do want to try. If you guys have ever found it or tried it, but really if you found it, let me know. I want to know just so I can be a little bit jealous of you. But yeah, I've actually never even tried chicken in the woods, but from what I hear, it's amazing. I did, however, find a lion's mane on a property that I was working on, and I definitely harvested that one and brought it home. Those are amazing. I don't know that I've ever had, I know that I've never had a mushroom even come close to that. That's the one that is almost like a lobster when you cook it. Just the flavor, even texture, everything. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, it was not out here. I am almost positive we do not have any of those on our property. But hey, if you ever find one of those, there is no lookalike. You're going to be safe. It's very obvious what it looks like. Look it up if you don't know. And if you ever run across one, take it. That's all I'm going to say. Just take it, look up a way to cook it, and try it. Cooking it was really, really easy. Easy to find a way to cook it. And Joe actually absolutely loved it. He couldn't get enough of it. We did do the standard, what you want to do with any mushroom that you've never had before. You know, taste it, wait about 10 minutes or so. Ideally, you really want to wait longer than that to make sure your body's going to respond to it okay. And then if you don't have any kind of like pain in the stomach or anything like that, then you're good. Now, that is not to test to see if it is safe to eat. That is to test to see how your body is going to react to it. Anytime you're introducing something brand new to your body, you really want to do that. Just because, kind of the same reason when you switch feed with your livestock, you don't just switch them over because it's going to totally throw their system off. You got to transition them over. Sort of the same with this. Now, we're not obviously making a whole diet, but introducing any new thing is always good to give it a little while to see how it's going to respond. Look at these things that we're getting. These are just beautiful.
Okay, so as I said, we are starting, I have decided we are going to start meal prepping or attempting to meal prep. So, you know, we've told you guys our lives get crazy. We're super busy. I am working at the dance studio 4 evenings a week, and some of our classes this year, because of the amount of students we have, which is not a bad thing, but because the amount of students we have and the few teachers we actually have some classes where my daughters aren't starting class until 7:30, which there are a ton of dance studios that have 8:30, 9 o'clock classes. That is totally normal in the dance world. It's just not normal for us. Our dance studio has always been really good about protecting that evening time so the students can get rest. And education and family is always top priority of our dance studio. And Josiah is he decided he wants to do fall ball. That starts pretty much right away after school. And then so he has practice in the evenings as well. So just to try to eliminate some of the stress, because we make so much of our food from scratch, and also honestly trying to eliminate those last minute, you know what, we didn't do anything, we didn't prepare the right way, we have to run to the grocery store and buy this. Something that I know I could make if I had planned ahead of time, but I didn't. And so we're having to go against what we're trying to work for and buy it. So I want to eliminate those instances out of our life. Honestly, my goal is, and I haven't shared this with Jeremy, so he's probably going to hear it for the first time when editing the video, but I would like to see if we could go a month without going to, without running and grabbing something extra for dinner to supplement or going out for dinner. He takes the girls on dates once a month. Jeremy and I try to go on a date once a month. That's not what I'm talking about. I just feel like we have the knowledge, the skills, and the resources that we've grown or raised, or even bought in bulk, like I have all my wheat berries. We have all those things in place. We have it all available to us. I would rather not go buy something when I have everything already at home ready for us to use. So that being said, I'm trying to meal plan. Today's day one. I came up with our menu for the week, lunch and dinner, because we will have school lunches that we need to make food for. I did a spreadsheet with different lunch options and different dinner options, so I didn't have to think about anything. I could grab whatever Italian dinner we want, Mexican different dinner we want, American style dinner we want, Asian. I just made a huge list, a big dump of all the foods that I know we like, eat, and typically go to, and some that we don't typically go to, but if we could prepare ahead of time, it would be nice to have. I want to do like a meatless Monday, a Mexican, like a Taco Tuesday or like a Mexican Tuesday. I want to try to do an Italian night, an Asian night, and then like an all-American night, whatever. And try to stick to that to some sort of degree. And then on Sunday afternoons, I'm going to spend the day prepping for those weeknight meals and those lunches. I had not planned to find these, so we are going to have to edit into one of our evening meals, which is not a bad problem to have.
Check out all these.
Whoa, that's awesome.
May
oh
have
my goodness.
Just robbed our neighbor's property for those, but
it's okay.
They have a huge patch of them over there that are very, very mature. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't going to hesitate. They don't eat mushrooms.
No. So I would like to try to do the raviolis. I think we have a lot here.
Yeah.
And that was a really good meal. So I guess making pasta dough
is now on the list. All right, so as we walk back out of our woods, let's do highs and lows.
Yes, yeah. You want to go first?
Sure. My high would be, I think, all of these. Yeah. I mean, that is a lot of chanterelles. I was anticipating finding them. I was not anticipating having that many. So
yeah, this is exciting.
That's a pretty good high.
Yeah.
Also, I had a good week just with work and all of that stuff. So that was good too. It was awesome. A little bit, it started out with cooler temperatures, which was nice. But then it did, by the end of the week, get back up into those like intensely high heat indexes. But by that point, we were kind of wrapping up the project, so it wasn't too bad. And now I'm just preparing for a week of rain.
Yeah.
Because it looks like
it's going to be a wet one.
We're going to have that hurricane. No, definitely not hurricane strength. Probably not even tropical storm strength. Well, definitely not tropical storm strength.
No.
It'll barely be hanging on to a tropical depression, but it is supposed to dump a ton of rain. Look at this.
That's crazy.
That's pretty, but not edible.
Yes. Do not eat. But that's beautiful.
Something ate it.
Something did.
But anyway, definitely. I think they're calling for like a foot of rain for us over the next couple of days. So
it's crazy.
That's gonna be a little bit intense. My low, I don't know if I had a low. I really don't know that I had a low.
That's awesome.
My other high is probably gonna be your high, so I'm just not gonna say that.
So my high is that we now finally have an oven and a stove that works, which homesteading without a way to cook food is very difficult.
Yes, it is.
So I am very thankful that we now have an oven and a stove, but even more than that, it's definitely an upgrade. Like the way this stove heats up and the way the oven cooks is just so much better than what we had before. So that's amazing. My other high is that was going school shopping with the kids. I used to love back to school shopping. It was something I was like, I'm a nerd. I liked like office supplies and stuff. So I had a lot of fun doing that with the kids and just having that excited anticipation of like going back to school, getting back to see friends, those kind of things. So that was another high. I don't know. I think my low was cooking the beginning of the week, like before we got our stove.
Oh, yeah.
That was very frustrating. Just, we had one of those hot plates that we borrowed. It smelt very chemically. It did not cook well. It wasn't fun.
No.
It was not a great beginning of the week.
We choked down the food.
Yeah. But that's behind us now, so.
Walking through the woods, I'm not really watching where the camera's aiming or the screen, so I'm watching where I'm stepping and for spiders. But hopefully it's not too bad for you guys.
It's an adventure.
So we thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you have experience foraging for mushrooms, we'd love to hear about it. And any tips that you feel okay sharing with the community, please leave them in the comments below. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great week and be blessed.